How are you both doing today?
Hi,
Eh,
good. How about you?
I'm well, thank you. So, first off, tell me, you two are like one of the most popular LGBTQ plus couples on social media, Instagram and YouTube. How did you two initially come together and meet?
So it's a funny story because I've been going to like this YouTube convention for like a long time when I was younger. And then after like the third or fourth year that I went to, I saw him like at one party. And I was like, oh, I think I've seen one of his videos before. So I like told my friend, I'm like, hey, can you take a photo of me with him? So I go up to him and I'm like, hi, I'm such a big fan, blah, blah, blah. And then we started talking, we took the photo together. And then that whole weekend we kept like texting and like running into each other. And then we filmed our first video together. And then like, well, we also had our first kiss there that weekend.
it was a lot. It was a lot all at once because like that was my first time ever in LA, and then the first night I got there was when I met you,
Yeah.
and I was always thinking like this is gonna be where my dreams come true. LA as like a musician and artist, and then I ended up meeting you, so that was crazy. And I'm like, wow, like the stars all align in a way you don't expect, which was cool.
For
Yeah,
sure.
and like we kept like talking like through FaceTime and messages and everything for like a month. And then a month later we were like, okay, let's go to this other YouTube convention. And that's where like we decided to go like official. So we were like long distance for a while.
Awesome, very nice. And so you two were already doing videos before you got together, and you just kind of just kept going with it and started posting content about your daily lives.
Yeah, it
Hmm.
was super natural. Like we didn't really have ever a conversation like, "Oh, do you want to start making videos together?" We just,
Mm.
I don't know. It was very popular back then to do boyfriend tags and stuff like that. So we just turned the camera on and did it, and the audience kind of like grew so quickly with us. So we were like, "Okay, we're gonna keep doing this."
And
Mhm.
for me, I was always like, because like Dion had already more subscribers. But I was always like, yeah, like when I get a boyfriend, I'm doing a boyfriend tag. I'm being like, like I knew I was gonna be like posting about it all the time, like because I just like being that corny. Like I'm a Taylor Swift fan. I like romance, so I was like,
Mhm.
I'm gonna be that person when I get in a relationship, and I am.
That's I love that because I am super romantic as well. So I was like, "Okay, this is working out nicely."
Working out. Yes, yes, love it. Now, are you based in LA or are you based in Canada?
In Toronto.
Right now, yes.
Okay, so Dion, are you originally from Canada?
So I was born in England, and then I moved to Canada with my family when I was 7 years old,
Okay,
and I've been there ever since.
okay, cool. And Seb, I know you're from Mexico. What brought you to Canada?
So I started at first. I was in school in the U.S. in Savannah, Georgia, and then after we dated for like a year, I was already trying like questioning my major. I was like, maybe I don't want to like maybe I want to switch it around.
Mm.
And then I was like, well, I could look at options in Canada, and I knew it was easier to like get like a visa and everything in Canada. So I was like, okay, I'll like stop being long distance and I'll get a visa and everything. So let's go for it.
Oh, perfect. And with your blend of humor, authenticity, creativity, you have gained like a mass following of over 3 million people. Did you ever think you would capture the hearts and minds of so many?
No, it's
No,
wild.
yeah, I think like we've always led with the message of just creating to like inspire and connect with others who are also in the LGBTQ plus community. And
Hmm.
then yeah, that just like staying true to that has
Hmm.
really resonated with a lot of people. Like we always meet people who are like, you're the reason why I found like my close friend group, and you're the reason I found the courage to come out to my family, and those kind of things are just like what really it feels like correct.
Yeah.
And then we also get, like people saying like, "Oh, you guys taught me how to kiss" with our how to kiss video. I'm like, "Oh, thank you." No, but yeah, when I first started my channel, like I was like, well, at least like I was like, hopefully I get 100 views in this one. Hopefully I get like 20. And it's like it's wild to see the numbers now, but it's like whenever you see it in person, like meet someone in person, they like talk to you. It's like, wow, like it's so cool, like being that positivity in someone's life and like helping them like embrace who they are.
For
Yeah.
sure. And that's why we love like live streaming because when you kind of lose sight of things with all the numbers, live
Mhm.
streaming really helps you like one-on-one talk to people, and then it brings you right back to that like kind of like grounding you as a creator and being like, oh, these are real people and this is like a real moment we're having.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So, how would you say you are constantly evolving as content creators?
We're always like doing what feels most natural to us, I feel. because
Okay.
like we've had different eras. We go like we had like the whole boyfriend tag, boyfriend vlogs, things like that. Then we went like
The prank
yeah,
era.
like we're like, okay, let's try something new. We had like prank eras. We had
Mhm.
like we did TikTok. We did like the whole lip sync thing that didn't last for a long time, but
And now like the So Rude podcast, like that just started as like a little fun passion project. And now we're on season 3 and we just love doing it because
yeah,
it gives us a time to just sit down and like reflect every week, which we love.
Mhm.
He's writing a book that I've been helping him with, and then of
yeah,
course the album. So it's like we're always just like having conversations with each other about how can we create in like new, fresh ways that keep
Mhm.
us feeling like things are moving forward. I don't know. We don't like to feel stagnant,
stagnant.
and like
Yeah.
that can get very toxic. So we're like,
Yeah.
okay, let's keep this fresh for us and our own like well-being.
Because
Mm.
I feel like at the core we're like creative and like storytellers. So like any avenue that we have to like tell our story and like tell different stories, share messages, like we'll go for it and like see if it sticks.
Definitely, definitely. And no matter what you do, you use your platform to support LGBTQ plus rights, mental health awareness, anti-bullying initiatives, and you're just inspiring so many people to make a positive difference in their communities. And I love that about you both.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Yes. And as a gay couple who showcases a lot of their relationship online, how do you deal with the criticism?
Like I try to ignore it most of the times, but
Mhm.
like I am Latino, so I do get I'm very sassy sometimes when I like reply. I'm like, well, guess what? Blah, blah. But like I feel like it's important to like just like ignore it because it's
Yeah.
like at the end of the day, it's just trolls online, like
Mhm.
that they're most likely just like very sad and lonely.
Yeah, like they're maybe going through something themselves that you don't really know about. So like sometimes I might, if something really gets to me, I type out the message, then I look at Seb and I'm like, should I really reply? It's not worth it.
Mhm.
Really like, and if you do reply, they're just coming back at you with a whole nother argument that doesn't make any sense. And you're like, oh, so you just wanted to fight. Got it.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
exactly.
sometimes I'll just reply like, "What do you mean?" And they're like, "Oh," and I'm like, "Wait, how?" Oh, so because it like gives you more comments, so I'm like, "Wait, but why?"
Exactly, exactly. So
And
let's look at
then sorry,
no,
the
go
hate
ahead.
comments can also be very like regurgitated, like very like they just saw someone else say that and they're like, oh, let me copy and paste that. So
Mhm.
sometimes I'm just like, come up with something original, like impress me.
Yeah.
Impress me with your insults. Come on, do something better.
Yeah, truly.
Yes. So let's talk a little bit more about the new projects that you're doing. Dion, you have a new album that's being released on June 14th, The Mess of It All. Tell us about that.
It's gonna get messy. No. It's actually like the opposite of messy. It's very emotional, I'd say. Messy in that way. Um, but yeah, it's been a really amazing journey because I've created a lot of singles and an EP in 2019 that were with other producers. But for this debut album, I was like, what if I try to make it all by myself? And I knew that was such a learning curve, like learning how to produce and everything. So to really push myself in every way as an artist and teach myself things every day for 18 months in the studio and years before that studying music theory and whatever, it really has been like such a growing experience for me and allowed me to create an album that I'm so proud of. Like with my past work, I really sort of doubted it. Like I'd always put it out and be like, maybe if it didn't perform the way I expected, I was like, oh, this is why I'm getting in my head about it kind of thing. But with
Mhm.
this, I'm like, it really doesn't matter to me how it performs, even though I think people will love it. To me, it's like, I have never been more proud of a body of work I've created. And I really can't wait to share that with the world. So
Awesome.
it's very special for me.
For sure. And is there anything you ultimately hope audiences and listeners take away from it?
Yeah, for sure. Like, just I want them to find their own way of feeling seen through the music. I
Mhm.
think it's like very healing. The lyrics are so raw. Like I was going through a lot of things emotionally. I was betrayed by someone I thought I would have in my life forever, and I really just had to process those things through the songwriting and
Yeah.
like going through all that while writing an album was really intense, but it did allow me to create stories that I think are really important and maybe stories that haven't been shared in the way that I had like a unique perspective for.
Mhm.
And I think people are really gonna gravitate towards that, like the genuineness of it. It's just I think it comes through so true. And I remember sometimes I'd be in the studio and I'd be like the lyrics would just flow out of me for a whole bridge, for example. Like I'd write like the verse and a chorus, and then I'd go in the studio and all of a sudden a bridge just comes out in 30 seconds, and it'd be like the most raw lyrics I'd ever said. And I'm like, how did that just come to me? And it's because I wasn't trying to overthink like, what's a mainstream lyric? What's this? What's that? I was actually like saying like, what do I want to tell the audience? Like, what do I want to leave on this planet when I'm not here anymore? What do I really think matters? And I think I allowed that to like just flow, and it felt correct for sure.
Awesome, fantastic. Now, Seb, do you do music as well?
Yes, I have like 3 songs out. Well, like
More.
we have 5.
Yeah.
3 on my own and then 2 collabs.
Okay.
But yeah, like now that he knows how to produce, I'm excited because I have a producer as well.
Yeah, like
There you
he's already
go.
started making an EP, so like
Yeah.
we're always like, okay, we're getting this album out, and then we want to finish the book and start the EP. I already am like planning like album 2, so it's just like we said, like we're always trying to push ourselves creatively.
And it's
Awesome.
really cool to see like seeing how he worked behind the scenes on the whole album. I really got to see like a new side of his artistry.
Mhm.
And I feel like it would be really cool for us to keep working together on like more music and everything because we have a lot of things to say.
Yeah.
Definitely, always love it. And tell us a little bit more about the book that you're currently writing.
So we started writing a book. I started writing a book while we were planning our wedding. So it was kind of like a passion project in the beginning.
Like I'd be in the studio, like every time I was in the studio working on the album, he was working on the book.
Yeah, and it's like kind of like fiction vibes,
Okay.
kind of related to like it has like our love story of how we met,
Yeah.
but then it's also based in the future where like technology is taking over the world,
Ooh.
and there's this evil corporation trying to turn everyone straight and trying to turn people homophobic, and then somehow one of their creations gives us superpowers, so
Okay.
we can like have to defeat this evil person. It
It
Okay.
gets
gets juicy.
it gets very juicy, sometimes spicy, but yeah, we're like finishing the last chapter, and then we're gonna be looking for like a publishing deal or like an agent or something.
It'd be really cool because I would like I come out of the studio, and then Seb would be like, oh, I'm in like sort of a section I don't know how to get through, but here's a general idea. And then I'd read and I'd be like, oh, and I'd just like spew out a bunch of my ideas, and then he could take that and further build off of it. So
Awesome.
it's like same thing with the music. Like when I maybe made 30 like rough drafts for songs, and now it's the 13 tracks. And Seb would help me kind of decide which ones fit for the album, which ones were trash.
I would no, none of them were trash. I would cry a lot. I'd be like, Dion, this is like therapy for me. What is going on?
So not only do you have a romantic partnership, but you have a very collaborative partnership as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I think what's made our relationship so strong because like ever since day one we've been like a team in all aspects.
Mhm.
So like whenever it's like he has something that he wants to do or I have something that I want to do, like we just push each other forward.
Yeah.
And it also helps that we're like both in like creative
Yeah,
mindset.
for sure. Like I've always said to Seb, like I don't want you to ever not feel supported in like your career and your aspirations, because I know how intense I am about mine with music and everything. And then he always reciprocates that to me, and I think that really helps us stay together like romantically, but also yeah,
Professionally.
push each other.
Yeah, definitely. I love it. And you two recently got married just this year, right?
October last year.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
8 months.
8 months. Okay. Well, congratulations. So a little newer
Yeah.
here. So how has married life been treating you?
It's been great. Well, because I feel like we've been like an old married couple for a long time now.
Yeah, like we got engaged 2019, and then because of the pandemic, we were engaged for like 4.5 years. So it really like gave
COVID
us,
made it real.
yeah, we felt like we were married way before the ceremony for sure.
But like, yeah, now that we're married, like I feel like it's like, wow, like we did. I feel like the whole thing that I was panicking about the wedding was like having like saying all the vows and everything in front of like all the people we know.
Yeah.
But we were just talking about it today, how it was so beautiful because like in the moment, in the day, it was like we felt so loved by everyone and like we felt the acceptance that we never felt, but like now we knew we were all surrounded by so much love and light. We were like, wow, like this is beautiful.
And the album really helped us like get to that place, because with some things like what I was saying, I was kind of betrayed by people I really cared about, and Seb really cared about too. It was like we had to find our power as queer people. Like we noticed like we were being maybe treated a certain way because of how like our sexuality, like people just kind of didn't respect us on a level that we were seeing them respect our peers. So yeah, through the music and the messages and the songs, it was like, oh, like we can speak up for ourselves, we can learn the power of saying no. And then that went right back to our wedding. We're like, this is not how you're going to treat us in our special moment, so you can come and support us or not. And then that really kind of like people heard that, I think. And then on that day, everyone who was there, like Seb said, like they just like gave the love right back. And I'm such an anxious person when it comes to like public speaking and things. And I was like, no, like vows in front of 200 people, that sounds like a nightmare. And then on that day, I did not feel like a single nerve. And I was like, wow, like that's how far we've come.
Yeah. Cool.
Awesome. Fantastic. So what advice or tips can you offer to other newlyweds or those who are about to get married?
I think the main thing is like, remember, it's your big day, it's your wedding. And especially like queer couples, it's like a lot of times people treat it, they're like, oh, it's a gay wedding, it's not like a real wedding. But it's like, yeah, it's like just as real as any other wedding.
Yeah.
Your relationship is just as valid as any other relationship. So speak up.
Yeah, like do it your way. Like there's so much expectation with weddings, you know. People expect you to do it kind of like this picture they have in their mind of how you should live your life and everything. So it's like, no, like this is my happiness, this is my story. And for a wedding, it should be about the love. It shouldn't be about like some performative, I don't know.
And like create your own traditions too. Like it's okay if you want to be like traditional, but also if you want to break everything up and like do it like whatever you want, do it. Because it's like your day. Like
no, I totally.
And then so, like when it comes to each other as well, like that moment between you two, it's like be honest and communicate with each other, you know, because it can be a very stressful time planning it. So like let them know when you're stressed and lean on each other.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that kind of makes me kind of think about my own wedding back in 2019. I always thought I need the big elaborate performative ordeal, and my husband was like, let's just go to the courthouse and just get it done. It doesn't matter what we have, as long as we're just committed to each other and we love each other. That's all we need. And that's what we did. We ended up going to the courthouse in 2019. We were going to have a bigger ceremony later on, but then COVID happened, which threw out all ideas. So we'll probably do something bigger, like our 10-year anniversary or something like that. But yeah, you're totally right. It's just like you just you're committed to each other. You don't need to do what everyone else expects you to do.
Yeah, it's all about like what you said. It's like just the love that you have for the person. Like it could be like just you two in a hotel room alone, and that makes it real. Like it doesn't have to be approved by everyone else. It's just what you two have.
Definitely, for
and
sure.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congrats.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll be 5 years married in November. We've been together for 9 years, so.
Oh my god!
Wow.
Yep,
we love to see days thriving.
Yeah.
We're thriving as best as we can in these days.
Yeah.
So go back for a minute for one of your other projects, the podcast. Oh, what's it called again?
So Rude.
Okay, So Rude. And you said you're on season 3?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So what can people expect from this podcast?
So we do a lot of like we try to do some pop culture topics, but we always bring it back to like our daily lives. Like we'll tell like what's been going on lately.
It's called So Rude for like a reason. Like we just want to be very open and honest with the conversation.
We always say it's not called So Nice, it's So Rude.
Like it's a place for us to maybe vent sometimes about what's going on in our life, but then also like vent about maybe like pop culture that we have an opinion on.
And sometimes we get really deep too. We like talk about dismantling the patriarchy. Like we go really, we're like, wow. And then some other times we're just like, so who's the daddy?
So a range of topics.
Yeah, it's really open.
That's what we need. We love podcasts with a bunch of topics, and you can talk about anything. Just destruct, let loose a little bit. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Dion Sebb, what more would you like to accomplish with your careers and platforms?
I think.
Well, we're very excited to hopefully go on tour soon.
I was gonna say that.
So like with like the podcast, even like we want to do maybe like where I tour my album and Sebb like opens with his music, and then we bring in the podcast somehow, maybe like for like in a meet and greet setting. I don't know. We want to take our art and connect with people in real life, because that was very difficult during the pandemic.
Yeah.
So for sure.
And then also like in the far future, we definitely want to do like start creating like movies or shows. Like we have so many ideas that we want to like see like become huge. So like we have like a lot of ideas for like short films or like
we wrote a pilot for like a super camp comedy movie this morning.
Yeah, we're like this.
Nice.
So definitely just keep telling stories and like in whichever way we can, and keep like helping the LGBT community like grow and be more accepting
and smile. Like I feel like so many people on the internet these days are just focused on negativity, and I'm like, I'm over that. Like we need more laughter, people.
Yeah, like bring the happiness back to the world.
Yeah.
Sure, we need happiness. These are dark times, dark days ahead. We don't know what's going to happen in the future. You just got to live in the moment and smile and be happy.
Yeah,
exactly. Well said.
As happy as you can be.
Yeah.
All right, so we have Instagram, YouTube. What other social media platforms are you on?
We have TikTok, Dion and Sebb. Our podcast, So Rude.
Okay.
YouTube, Instagram. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, you pretty much covered.
No OnlyFans?
Oh, we have OnlyFans.
We have OnlyFans.
Yeah. Gotta plug that in somewhere.
Thank you.
The sneaky link. Yeah.
All right, then before we wrap up, are there any other upcoming projects or anything else you would like to mention or plug at this time?
Just the album. Pre-save the
yeah,
album. Stream the album.
We've been doing like a really cool sort of like visual album with the lyric videos. So those will all 13 songs will have one of those dropping on June 14th. And there will be also a music video for one of the tracks coming out 12 hours after the album is released.
Okay, fantastic. Anything else, Seb?
No, I think that's all.
Okay, perfect.